All right. So before we continue with UV unwrapping, what I want to do now is just go through each like piece and see if it needs to be optimized. If you're modeling for game engines, at least at this current stage in the industry, you need to make sure your stuff is optimized, meaning that I mentioned this before, but essentially meaning that you have no redundant edges, or in other words, edges that are not doing anything, right? And they're bloating your poly count. So let's check out one piece at a time. I'll start at the top. So this S hook, I mean, it's fine. It's quite small, um, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. There are a lot of curves in this, and if I were to get rid of any of like these edges, it would create more faceting than I want. I could probably get rid of, maybe some of these edges, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. It's fine. The goal with this is just to get something out there, like quickly. I know some of you who are taking my class are a bit behind, right? So this piece is fine. This ring here, or this like diamond. One thing that I don't like is this big knot of overlapping faces that's in there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll create a cylinder, and I'm going to move it up here, and I'm just going to kind of cover this in with a general shape to suggest like, oh, there are knots up here. So I'm going to scale this down and rotate it, and then just kind of do something. Let's rotate this some more. And let's scale this in just a touch. And I just want to cover this mess up. And we could spend some time to get this all correct, but I'm just going to press forward, okay? And the way you would do that is similar to how we modeled this piece, right? You could model them so they all attach together. But for this, it's fine. Let's take these two edges and bevel them. And then move this down a little, something like this, and scale this up in this direction. And that's good. Okay. I could spend forever on this, but I'm not going to. All right, I know these are good because we did those earlier. This is fine. All these other strings are fine. I think that let's select just these chimes. Hit Control 1 to isolate them. And the player will never see these faces in here, so there's no point in having them. What we could do is, let's temporarily combine these. So combine, go to vertex mode, select just the center vertex of all of these, and you can convert selections. So if I hold, where is it? Is it Control? Yeah, so if I hold Control, right click and hold, this brings up the marking menu to convert selections. Then I'll go down to two faces, and it will select all the faces that are attached to those verts. Then I can hit delete. Then I'll go to the bottom and back to vertex mode, and I'm going to select that center vert, shift click that center vert, that one. We could have just deleted these earlier after we extruded them, but I forgot, to be honest. All right, so I have all those verts. It's a good idea to make sure you don't have any extra verts selected. Then I'll hold Control, right mouse and click, and then two faces. That's good, and then I'll hit delete. Then I'll hit Control 1 to unisolate. So that's good. Let's look at this piece. So I clicked on it and hit F. And I'm going to leave this as is too. We could triangulate some of this, but it's fine. It's good. If we triangulated, then something's going to have very sharp, like 90-degree edges. So we don't really need to do that. All right, cool. So next step is UV unwrapping this. I have a video series I think it's called Intro to 3D Modeling on my YouTube channel. And in there, videos 10 through 14 have to do with UV unwrapping. If you're very confused about UV unwrapping, I'd encourage you to go check those videos out, okay? But for now, I'm just going to go through it. So I'm going to select this UV editing workspace up here. I'm going to click on UV Toolkit. And let's make this so we can see it a little bit better. And I'm going to do one piece at a time. So I'm going to click on this S hook. And so for this, I'm going to select this, go to Create, Camera Based. Then I'll go to Edge Mode and double click on, let's do this one. And Shift, double click on this one. And Shift, right click and hold, go to Cut, which is the same as opening up this Cut and Sew menu and clicking on Cut. Then right click and hold UV Shell Mode, which is the same as clicking on this. And now you can see I have 3 different shells. These two, I'm going to select both of them. And you can go to Unfold right here. I always hold Shift, right click, and then Unfold, Unfold. The nice thing about these marking menus is you do not need to wait for them to show up. So I know that when I hold Shift and then I need to go left and left far. So what I can do is just hold Shift and then drag left quickly and it'll uncut, or it'll unfold it, right? So, but those are the 2 ways to unfold. So that's good. This piece here, let's cut here and here. So cut, unfold, and I'm going to go to Arrange and Layout and click Orient Shells. And I'll do the same for this. And I want these to be in the same direction, so I will select this one and go to Transform, rotate 90 degrees, and I'm going to rotate these 90 degrees as well for now. So these are done for now. All of the UV shells need to fit in this 1-to-1 space. But for now, I'm going to arrange them all later. Like all the pieces need to fit in there. So I'm just going to move these to the side for now, okay? Then let's go to this piece. So object mode, select here. Let's do something similar. I'm going to go camera based. And let's click on this, double click there, cut, whoops, UV shell. So I didn't actually cut, let's see. Back to edge mode, double click, cut, UV shell. This is still attached for some reason. Oh, it's because I didn't cut the inside. So I'll also click, double click there and cut. And then I'll unfold these. There's some significant distortion here. Let's cut that. And then I'll cut this. And then unfold those. And we can cut these 2. And then unfold those. There we go. So let's move this out of the way. We can orient the shells and then just, move it out of the way. All right, that piece is done. Let's move on to this piece. This one, let's unfold. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this in object mode, Control 1. Then I will go to face mode, hold tab, select all of this, then hit shift period to grow the selection. Actually undo. I'll also grab this one, tab, shift period to grow the selection. Now I have these, and let's do a planar. So in the X, so I'll hold shift, click on planar, make sure X is selected, and these 2 boxes are checked. Then hit apply. Then go to UV shell, grab these, unfold them. They're currently stacked. I'll take one of them off of each other. Let's unfold this. It's unfolded. Let's orient it. And let's scale it to make sure. Yeah, so I'm looking at the checkerboard. If your checkerboard is not on, you can turn it on and off right here. And I also have shaded mode on. Instead of, by default, wireframe mode is on. You can turn shaded mode here, which is nice. If you're in basic shaded mode and something is red, it means that it's flipped. You can either unfold it or you can click on the shell and go modify flip, right? It'll look red like that. Modify flip. You can also right click on this and it will give you a different shaded mode. All right. Okay. So let's just move these. Let's just scale them down and move these to the side. Control 1 over here. Let's take this and separate all these pieces. So I'm going to select this and go to go back to general and yeah, modeling toolkit, separate. I'm also going to click on all of these. One second here. Actually, I will not separate those. That's fine. Or that. Okay, cool. Let's go back here. Go back to UV editing. Let's select this and center the pivot on all of those. Then I'm going to select this one. So just this one for now. And let's do a, let's open up create and do a camera based. And then I'm going to isolate this by hitting Control 1. And let's double click on, let's say this edge, cut, UV shell, unfold. Let's orient the shell and let's select this and let's, under the unfold, I'm going to click on straighten UVs and see how it straightened it out for us. That's perfect. Let's turn this on. I just want to see. Okay, cool. So Control 1 to undo. Now, each of these models have the same vert setup, right? Like they have the same edges and the same vertices, but they do not currently have the same UVs. So instead of going through and unwrapping it the same for each one of these, what we can do is click on one, hold shift. So I'm going to click on the one we just unfolded, right? I'm going to hold shift and click on the next one. Then I'll go to, where is it? Is it under? Yeah, so mesh. I'll click on the option box next to transfer attributes. This comes up. I don't want to transfer vertex position. I just want to transfer UV set. So click on all and the sample space, set it to component and hit apply. And you'll see that now that applied, let me select just, see how it gave it the same UVs, which is awesome. So you don't have to unfold that again. It'll just continue to stack them on top of each other, so you can unstack them later. So I'll go back to object mode. Let's select this one that has UVs. Hold shift, select this one, hit apply. Click on one, hold shift, select the next one, hit apply. And yeah, just do a double check. So now they all have UVs. That's good. Let's select all of these. Let's just UV shell. That's good. Move this to the side. Oh, I need to go edit, delete all by type, history. That's why I was having an issue here, I think. So object mode, select all these, UV shell. Yeah, now I can unstack them, I believe. One, two, three, four. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Those are done. So remember, you got to delete your history for that to work. All right, now this piece, this one should be pretty quick. Let's take this face loop here, and close out of that. Click on cylindrical, grab this shell and unfold it, orient it so it's straight. I'm going to scale this down. and then just move it out of the way again, right? And then I'm going to take these and do a camera based, and then that will give us 2 different shells, and then I can go to shell mode, select both, and unfold them. So this piece is done. Next, let's do these, and then we can do transfer attributes again trick. So I'm going to hit Control 1, so I'm just seeing these. Let's do a camera based, and then let's cut interior edges. So cut, unfold, orient shells. That's good. Now would be a good time to save your work. So I'm going to, I always save in versions. So you can go File, Save Scene As, go Chimes _ VO2. All right, let's go back here. So I'll click on this, hold Shift, click on that. Where was it? Edit. Oh, no, sorry. Edit mesh. Or is it mesh? Mesh. Option box for transfer attributes. Excuse me. Apply. Click on one. Click on the next. Apply. 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 All right. We got one more, I think. Apply. Cool. Now I can go to Edit, delete all by type history. I can select all of these. Oh, I missed one. Oh, no, I didn't. That's the center. That's okay. All right, we've got all these. Now I can go to UV shell and unstack these. Grab these and just move them out of the way. All right, let's do this next. This one. Let's go ahead and separate these so we can do the same thing. General. So even though they're different lengths. These chimes, they have the same verts and they have the same components set up, so we can do that trick still. All right, we'll just need to unfold them after. Okay, so separate. Let's center the pivot on all of them. And actually what we want to do now is select these pieces and combine and do that for each of them. So select these. I hit Q to go, let's see, combine, to go to my selection tool. I want to be careful not to accidentally select something else. If you're redoing the last action over and over, you can hit G to redo it. So I'm just hitting G to combine over and over again. Rotate, combine. All right, so I'm just going to double check and make sure I got them all. Cool, okay. So let's start with this shortest one. Go back to UV editing, hit Control 1, focus in on it. I'm going to select these faces in here and these faces in here and do a cylindrical. Go to UV shell and unfold those, orient them. Those are good. Now, what is this piece? This is, select this, unfold, orient. Nice. All right, so for this piece, this shell, and this shell, let's unfold them and move them to the side. Now this is these pieces. So let's unfold these and orient them. And that's also good. Let's scale these down considerably for now. Oops, UV shell. Let's just move these like over here. All right, now I should be able to do the trick with transferring. Let's see. So that's what. Let's go back. Let's just move these here for a second. All right. So object mode, select this one. Hold Shift, select this one. Um, mesh, transfer attributes, apply. Something weird's going on. Undo. Component. I'm going to delete my history and try it again. So I'm in object mode, hold Shift, click on this. This should work. Add our mesh, transfer attributes, component. Yeah, it's not working. Let's try a different one. Let's see. This one, then this one. So that one worked. This one, this one. That one did not. That one worked. It makes me think that some of these are a little different for some reason. Let's see, Control 1. Let's see. Those faces are gone. Wait, what is... oh, no, never mind. It's working for some, but not others. Let's delete the history again. So this one is done. This one is not working. This one's not working. This one's done. This one's done. This one's not working. This one's done. This one's not working. Not working. Alright, let's try one more time. Mesh. And a mesh. Mesh. Transfer attributes. Oops. What? Something weird's going on that I'm not exactly sure. That's okay. Let's just... Okay, so instead of doing that, what I'm going to do actually is... I've already unfolded this one. I don't want to unfold all of them, so the quickest way... I'm going to save this one, and I'm actually just going to delete all of the others. Like this. And then I'll do the same thing where I unlock the pivot, move it to the center. There it is. Hit D again to lock the pivot. Edit, where is it? Edit, duplicate special. Yeah, these settings, hit apply. And then I'll just come through and adjust these again. So grab the bottom verts and move them down. And cool. Okay. I'm gonna save it, and then actually I'm gonna just adjust this a little bit so we can see very clearly the wind catcher at the bottom. Nice. Okay, that's better. All right. I don't like to cut these out because I like you to kind of experience, common problems that you might go through. So I'm going to go through each one of these, select all the shells, and then unfold. And that way, the shells are to the correct length. Like, see how each of these are longer. So unfold. Unfold. Object mode. Unfold. I think I got them all. Should keep getting longer. Yeah. Take these shells here, click orient, straighten them all out, and we'll unstack those later. And now we can select all of these now that they're unwrapped and go back to general, combine. Now it's one mesh again. Now let's do this piece. UV editing, Control 1, F to focus in. Select this, create a cylindrical, UV shell, unfold, orient. Then I can go to this and this, and select all of these. Camera based, select both of these, unfold. Let's see, we've done these. Now we need to do this piece. Let's select this, camera based, grab a single edge, cut it, UV shell, unfold, orient. Now we'll do this one. Object mode, select this, Control 1, focus, camera based. Let's come in here and we will double click on this edge here and then this one, and then shift, double click on that, cut. Now we have two. This one we can unfold. That's pretty ugly. We'll fix that later. This one looks pretty good. Let's see. I'm not too worried about these UVs because I'm just going to create this as like black string, so there won't be any. Let's unfold along V, maybe. Yeah. So shift right click, unfold, unfold along V. This for some reason is crooked. Let's go to UVs, grab these and move them over here. I'm going to grab these, hit the scale, straighten them, adjust it like this. R, straighten these, adjust this like so. It's not really crazy important that you get this exactly correct. Yeah, UV shell, orient, scale these down because I'm going to make these really tiny shells because they're just going to be black and kind of rough. I'm not going to put a lot of detail in them. All right, this piece, excuse me, let's go ahead and grab these faces all along the outside. Do a camera based, let's grab the bottom edge there and cut it. Grab this and unfold it, orient the shell, move it out of the way. Then I will go to face mode and grab these interior faces here, camera based, grab a bottom edge again, cut it, unfold this, orient, shrink it down, move it. Then take both of these, camera based, unfold them, orient. Cool. All right, we've unfolded all of the pieces. Let's go ahead and save it. Chimes version 3. Okay. Normally, I like to arrange everything by hand because it makes me more knowledgeable of all my pieces, right, and how the UVs are laid out. However, I'll show you how to use the layout tool properly. Remember that if you've watched the UV videos, hopefully you have, or you already know this, for good UVs for a prop that's going into a game engine, they need to have three things. Um, that you want to use as much of the one-to-one space as possible, which is the space that my mouse is moving around in. So you want to use as much of that as possible. You want to have UV shells be even texel density, right? And then you want to have minimal distortion, which we have if you followed along. And then you want to have minimal seams, so the least number of shells that you can have, which we also have. So at this point, we just need to lay them out. Instead of doing it by hand, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Object Mode, select everything. I know that I'm going to have much smaller texel density for the strings because I'm not really adding a lot of detail to them. So I'm going to hold Shift and deselect all of the strings. Okay, so deselect that string, deselect this string. Cool. So now I've got all the other pieces except for the strings. And then I'll close this up so it's easier to see. I'm going to open up this Arrange and Layout. Then I'm going to hold Shift, and while holding Shift, I'll click on Layout. Now I'll open up these options. I'm going to change this packing resolution to 2048. I'm going to change texture map size to 2048. Shell padding, these are in pixels by default, which is what it should be. And we want to make sure that there is distance between shells. In other words, shells are not touching each other and they're not touching the edge of the 1-1 space. So I'm going to change these each to 5. I think by default it's at 0. So change this to 5. Also make sure this translate shells is checked. If you've oriented the shells already, like you were following along, make sure rotate shells is not checked. Okay. And then you should be able to leave everything else the same. I highly recommend saving your work before doing this. This can cause Maya to crash depending on your computer. So save your work and then do this. All right, I'm going to hit apply. It's thinking about it. And there we go. Okay, let's take a look. So we want to make sure this is all even texel density and nothing's touching each other. Yeah, so see how it's not touching the edge and it's not touching each other. I know that all these big ones are the chimes. I'm going to select this UV shell and go to transform and hit get. So that's 7.70. Let's do this. So these are all the same or very, very close to the same texel density. Let's check this one. Get. Let's check this. Cool. So the texel density is pretty even. This pack is good other than, a lot of the shells are kind of spread out and it's not always related to each other. But this is pretty good. Next, let's do the string, which I know is going to be... so I'm going to select everything. And here's all the string. And I'm going to start by... Well, first I'm going to save it. And I'm going to grab all of these shells here, which are just the string shells, right? Just these. And I'll start by just hitting set here with the 7.75, right? So this definitely wouldn't all fit inside of this. We could rotate it. Let's rotate it 90 degrees, actually, like this, right? We could actually fit quite a bit. Actually, I don't think we could fit all this. Let's just kind of play with this a little and see. Could I fit this in here? No. This would have to go up here. Slide over. This we could rotate like this. Well, it's going to be close. Maybe we could do it. Let's take this. we want to keep edges that are straight. We want to keep them straight. We don't want anything to be at an angle unless it absolutely has to be, because pixels are square, and if you create something that's at an angle on a square object, then you can end up with aliasing that you can't really get rid of. Let's try and find some places for these. One can fit there. Probably fit another one down here. Again, we don't want this to overlap with anything. That one won't quite fit. Let's see, let's just slide this over here. Don't touch. Slide this over here. Take these and nudge them over here. Then I think if we were to, let's see, we could take one or two will fit in here. That's good. All right, the rest, let's see, will this fit over here? Yes, one or two will fit here. Make sure it's not touching anything. Could actually probably fit a third in here. That's good. We fit one here. Good. Let's probably fit another one right below it. That's good. And then we can take these, rotate them 90 degrees, and let's put one over here. So if you're doing this and your layout looks different than mine, right, you'll need to kind of figure this out on your own. Just know that because these strings, we're not going to put a ton of detail on them. They're just going to be like dark. Just because of that, you could actually shrink these down considerably, like to half their size that I have them, and fit them in, and it wouldn't be a big issue. Okay, let's rotate this back, and we could probably maybe fit in here. Actually, we could fit both in there. Let's rotate this back the way it was. All right, cool. Let's save this. I just saved it. I hit Control S. And then let's go back to General. I'm going to delete my history, edit, delete all by type, history. I'm going to select the strings, all of the strings. These, and that, and this. And I'm going to combine them. And then I will select, so those are combined, that's good. This, okay. Then I'll go to edit, delete all by type, history. What is this? This is nothing. Yeah, so I'm going to select this. If you have an empty node like this, and after you delete your history, like you click on it and it doesn't show, there's nothing there, you can delete it. All right. I'm going to select, this is the outliner. I'm going to hold shift and select all the poly pieces. I'll hit Control G, which groups it. I'll name this Chimes. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to select this piece, and I'll name this S hook. This piece, I'll name, I don't know, top brace. This piece will be, I don't know, I'll just name it ring. I'm going to middle mouse click on ring and drag it up above top brace, and I'm going to try and keep this organized. And yeah, let's name this, I don't know, ringer. There's probably an actual name for this. This one, I'll name it wind catcher. This one, we'll just name this knot. Actually, you know what? We'll combine that piece with the rest of the string. So I'm going to select those both and hit combine. Edit, delete all by type, history, middle mouse click and drag on this and drag it back into this chimes group. This I'll name string 1. I'll name it strings. Ringer, top race, and then this I'll name chimes. Okay, so let's see, S hook, ring. Let's put strings underneath the ring. Middle mouse click and drag to do that. Top race, ringer, wind catcher. Let's put wind catcher at the bottom. So we'll grab chimes and drag this up above. Actually, we'll put chimes under top race. You don't have to like organize this fashion. There's a bunch of ways to do it, but this is nice, and yeah, this is how I would do it. All right, then I can collapse this. So now I can, even though this is made up of different pieces, right, I can just select chimes and export it as one piece. And that's excellent for a lot of reasons, which I can get into in a different video. So again, I'll edit, delete all by type, history, then file, save scene as, chimes underscore version 4, save. And then all of my saves, I'm going to put in a project folder or just a folder that's going to contain everything. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to show you how to export this, bring it in the Substance Painter, and texture it. See you there.